On the sofa for the third time today. Well, don't be surprised if Watson sits on you again.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes. Beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes. I shall be waiting for you here, but please hurry.
Are you able to identify the men who were with the victim in the steam room?
Yes. The manager of the bath, Sir Gregory Pitkin, a lad from the City Council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. I think the plump one, Garrow, did it. He doesn't seem right in the head.
Well, we shall see. You found no murder weapon?
No, and that's why I called you. All three witnesses and the victim were locked in when the murder occurred, and they remained so until we got here. We even had to pick the lock to enter.
I see. Was there anyone else here, apart from those gentlemen in the steam room?
Yes, a Mr. Phillips. He was the one who called the police. He'll be able to give you more details.
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
Good day to you, Mr. Phillips. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. Would you be so kind as to answer our questions?
Certainly, sir.
Please tell us the chain of events from the start of your day. Everything that you can remember. The slightest detail may be of importance.
Very well, sir. I came in at 6:30 this morning, and I opened the baths. I made sure that the room was clean, and I prepared the towels. The brazier was still burning.
There was a fire burning all night.
Yes, Sir Gregory ordered me to light the brazier yesterday. It takes some time until the room is fully heated. The gentlemen had a meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. I wanted everything to be perfect. They'd been in the steam room for 20 minutes when I suddenly heard shouting. I ran to the door, but it was closed. I couldn't open it. So I ran out to the street to call for the police. One constable came up, and then there were others, and they picked the lock. Then Inspector Lestrade came along, and he told us that nothing should be touched.
Did you receive any other visitors this morning?
No one. Until these gentlemen arrived. Sir Gregory was the first. And then, while we were discussing work details, Sir Rodney and Mr. Blinkhorn arrived, and Mr. Garrow followed.
What happened after that?
I waited until they'd all entered the steam room, then I returned to the hall. The changing room door was open, so I should hear if they needed anything.
You would have heard if someone had entered or left the steam room.
Certainly, sir. These doors make a lot of noise.
Any progress, Mr. Holmes?
The steam room's on the other side, Mr. Holmes.
These clothes belong to one of the suspects from the steam room. An ice bucket to keep the champagne chilled. Champagne for a special occasion. Champagne. Unopened. It was intended to be enjoyed after the steam session. Expensive clothes belonging to one of the men from the steam room.
Good Lord, Holmes.
Death with a peculiarly Roman piquancy.
Like the one you almost had an hour ago.
Let us forget about that.
There was only one hit from the weapon. It pierced the right eye straight through to the brain. Death would have been instantaneous.
Some dirt or earth. I'll take a sample. Some dirt. Look, Watson. He was wearing a ring. He very likely removed it before the steam session.
Well, death is very recent, between 30 minutes to 1 hour ago.
The wound should not have bled so profusely. This pool is rather large. I think we have found all that we can here, taking into consideration the abysmal lighting. Constable, we have finished with the body.
We don't have many leads here.
What concerns me is that we still have to find the murder weapon.
Mr. Holmes?
Please have the body removed without disturbing anything else in the room.
All right, Mr. Holmes.
I was wondering, Holmes, it's fairly reckless to carry out a murder inside a closed chamber. Why do you suppose they did it?
There are a great many possibilities. The murderer was in a hurry, or he is an artist, or a ghost, or he wanted to ensure that I'd be brought in on the case.
Probably the latter. You are ridiculous, do you know that?
I should check this blood sample at Baker Street. This key was covered in blood. I should ask Phillips about it. With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away. One lens is cracked, probably due to the temperature of the brazier. These lenses are for myopia. The wearer is short-sighted. The brazier is still burning. The heat here is extreme. I will need something to pick up this melted metal. It is too hot. I can't...
It's horrible. So Rodney, he's dead. Can't we speak about it somewhere else?
I'm in shock. I don't want to talk.
It's horrible. I can't...
The grid cannot be removed. The weapon is nowhere to be found. The grid cannot be... Pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold. Selenite. Selenite. White clay particles. Interesting. According to the color and its composition, I deduce that this sample is white clay. Now, I need to find which area near London this sample belongs to. The sample of dirt belongs to the White London clay region, located near the city of St. Albans. Let us analyze this blood sample. This blood has not coagulated well. It seems very liquid. That is strange. Let us see what is inside it. Hydrogen peroxide will bring any foreign matter to the surface. I must take a pipette and place several drops of hydrogen peroxide. I must take a pipette. Water. This blood is heavily diluted with water. My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
What should we do next, Holmes?
How many people have keys to the steam room?
We have just the one key for now, which Sir Gregory gave to me.
So, this morning you opened the steam room, and then?
I put the key inside my desk, but when they called, I couldn't find it. It had disappeared, but I don't know where it is.
Did you leave the baths at any time, or receive any visitors?
No, sir, I did not.
You are not telling the truth, Mr. Phillips. You left your work this morning, and you went to the post office, where you dispatched a telegram at around 7:30.
But how could you... No,
The telegram was for someone in Manchester.
Mr. Holmes, it's I'll tell you everything. I left the baths at 7:20. My sister wrote to me yesterday, and she needed a reply, or our mother is unwell. I was away for 20 minutes, and I closed the baths on my way out.
Did you receive a reply from your sister?
No, she wasn't meant to. I just told her to pawn my old school uniform so that she could pay for the medication.
Did you check to see if the key was still in your desk when you returned?
No, I didn't. Please, Mr. Holmes, don't tell the police about this. Sir Gregory would give me the sack. I need this job.
I see. There is a bottle of champagne on ice in the changing room. Do you have any idea who left it there?
There is? Are you quite certain? I didn't pay any attention. Do you believe that it's important?
Clothes belonging to one of the suspects. G. Newell and Sons, Steam Specialists, Seattle, WA. The brazier is still burning. The heat here... With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
Mr. Holmes? I can't
Blood traces wiped on the towel.
I found him. I touched his shoulder, thinking that he was just asleep.
Do we have to stay here? Can't we go?
If you have to
I don't want to stay here.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
None, Lestrade.
These baths are become...
Mr.
What should we do next, Holmes?
A hand-drawn map. Rodney Bentcliffe's notebook. It may contain something of interest. The last pages were torn out. We must find a way of retrieving Sir Rodney's last lines. Watson, please prevent anyone from entering the room. But first, fetch me a pencil. To begin with, a few strokes of the pencil will be enough. I don't want to damage the traces. And then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
An Egyptian symbol. It is a very old jewel. An Egypt... I see the join. This ring was repaired, and quite badly too, with silver.
Why on earth would they wear such a ring?
A very pertinent question. An old and rather dirty coin. An ordinary pencil.